Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of About the Build. Today we're going to make a coolant bottle and I'm going to put the airbox in. The reason I'm putting an airbox in it because in Australia, if you don't have an airbox and you run one of these, you get, so to avoid that, I've used the airbox, I've modified it, of course, and that's it. So we're going to do a bit of welding today on AC. We're going to do a little bit of bending and just basic stuff. We'll use the lathe a little bit too, got to make a spout, but first I'll show you what's going on with this airbox. So we've got the airbox in. This is the bottom half of it. It's just got these little metal brackets here. There's one over here as well underneath that sort of hold it in place. It's actually very sturdy and I'm surprised. It'll take a standard air filter and then just the cover will go on top like that. Keep it looking standard. Get pretty good suction from under here. Only problem is I'm going to need to do some crazy bend here. It's got to come up here and then swoop into there. I've got a few bends for this, like donuts, 4-inch donuts, and they do fit. My only concern is this radiator hose. It's got to kind of come down and to here. So we'll address that soon. But firstly, what I want to do, because I want to start it and stuff and run it with the belt on, make sure the power steering works, is I'm going to make a coolant bottle for here. It'll have an outlet come down into the 5/8 hose, 16 mil. And then it has to have the one from this little leader spout come across to the top. And I've also got a radiator cap, same as this style. So it's going to have 2 radiator caps, but whatever. So we'll measure out a bottle and sort of suss out how we're going to mount it and how big it's going to be and all that, but that's pretty cool. I'm liking this. All I've done is cut the bottom off a standard Commodore air filter box and taken the airflow meter off because we don't need it, so that's where we're at. So a few things you're going to need when making your bottle is a cap or a form of filling it up. This is just one of them caps you can buy, a weld-on little spouty thing. It's got the overflow as well. You will need a spout. I was going to turn these up myself on the lathe, but in my little grab kit I already had some. I don't know where I got them from. This one was probably from when we did the fuel tank thingy. This one here, I'm not sure. Maybe on another car I used it for something, or it came in a 2-pack, I can't remember. You're going to need some aluminium. Today we'll be using 3 mil. It's a pretty good thickness because you can get a decent bevel on it and get quite a good fill. I've got big ass sheet over there, which is good. I'm going to be cutting it up using a jigsaw. You can use whatever you like. I'm going to use the jigsaw because when you buy it, it's got this plastic film. If you use the plasma cutter and you don't take the film off, it leaves a little bit burnt. Sure, you can peel it off, but I used this bad boy the other day to cut up that big sheet and it just flew through it super straight. I think it's a little bit of an underrated tool for cutting aluminium. If I was doing steel, definitely the plasma cutter. And even with the offcut bits, you can just feed them through bandsaw onto the bench. So we'll use that. We'll make up a little box. We'll make a template first out of some cardboard, suss it out a bit, and then make sure we don't go too high for this. That was also the reason of why I put the airbox in first, because we got to make sure we can get in the area, do something like that, and then whatever. So there's a few already threaded holes here. There's one here, 2 here, and then there's one also further down, but these ones where the bottle is going to be kind of hard to get, so we'll use this one. So the tank will be here, come off of that. Maybe even use this hole here, just put a little tabby bit sticking up or something. That's all I can see, so we'll find something, maybe even put a riv nut in, I don't know yet. but we'll continue on. Quite happy with how I'm welding today. I've dipped the tungsten a couple of times, but you know, had too many coffees this morning. I'm going to fully weld up this side, then the two sides, and I'll leave the other side off because it's good to have a little vent for an escape of the air. So that's cool, and then we'll put it in and sort out where we want the spout and all the other bits. Alright, here's the cube. Mostly welded up, just got to do this side. If I weld this up now without having an air escape, the oxygen inside the cube kind of bursts through, and then just before you finish it always goes psh, and you got like the gross oxides. I have dipped my tip a few times, as you will see in the video, so that's alright, don't freak out, man. It's just like, it still looks alright. I will pressure test it after I'm finished, so I'm gonna hold it in the car now and suss out where to put a spout, because if I drill a little hole for the spouts, depending where they're going, then they will be my little air holes to let the stuff out, let the air out, not the stuff. So let's see where we can fit it. So it looks like a pretty good spot kind of here. it'll go here. We'll take off that, so we'll make a little thing probably. And might even put like a little tang to this bolt here. So then, if that's the case, we'll put spout here, goes down. But which way? You know, that side's got a better looking weld, so probably put that there. Cool. Alright, there it is. Got straps here, 2 little pieces bent up, they just take up some bolt holes. They're just welded on. I welded the cap on and the 2 little spouts. So that's it there. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm quite happy with how it came out. I'm still yet decided whether to paint it black or not. Probably will, but that's a shame in a way. So I've painted up the old header tank, just satin black, keep it a bit stealthy in the old bay. I'll bolt that in now, and then I'll sort of make a top hose thing, I think, and then we'll continue on. Alright, there's the tank. It's looking cool actually. Very sturdy. Welds look pretty good. The paint came up pretty good. If you're painting aluminium, try to use an etch primer first. Makes the paint stick a bit better. This is just a rattle can job, but does the job. Now we can run a pipe from here into this, and then from this 10 here into this one. Also have to sort something out with this top radiator hose. So the top hose is going to have a piece of pipe in it because I can't find a hose this length. This will also have the temperature sensor for the gauge, not the ECU. The ECU has one down there on the side. Don't worry, this is going to get tidied up a bit of that wiring. It's got it on charge. So I'm just going to leave that on loose for now, because I want to make this intake part, so then I can do this in a sec. I still have to roll some beads on these. I'm thinking about just welding a little bead on it. But for now, we'll address the intake pipe issue. So we have to come out here, turn pretty sharp, sort of come across, and then swoop in. I think we'll get it. So let's begin with that. So before we take the car out for a drive, we've got to put some water in it, right? So got the cap on here and the little spout, so that's all right. But we got to put an intake on it. So I've been playing around with all my aluminium pieces. So I had these 4-inch ones, like this. Couldn't really get it to fit well at the front here. I got a 4-inch silicone thingy. Sort of fits, but not as good. So I've got the standard intake, and if you actually look, probably a bit hard to see on video, but it clears the radiator. It's like a little gap. It's sort of an oval shape, so that's all right. And what we got to do, it also uses standard air temp sensor, so we don't have to buy a screwy in one. All we got to do is build an elbow for here. So I've cut up the old airflow meter, and I've machined the spouts for it, which are these guys here. One there, one there. That's because these are a smidge under 4-inch. So they'll go in there, that'll go in there. And then it's really just connect that to that. I'll just weld them onto some aluminium elbowy stuff I've got. So we sit like that. And then we can start it up, put some water in and take it for a run. I've already explained the top hose, so there you go. Intake pipe here, comes down, goes in. There's a bit of a gap here, it doesn't touch the radiator. Pretty cool. Just touches on the radiator hose there, so that could be an issue. We'll have to monitor that, make sure it doesn't rub through. By the time it would ever rub through, I would have caught it by then anyway, so yeah. I don't know, have to do something with this because I don't like the way that is. Anyway, that's the hose. So if you're ever going to make something like this, not all aluminium is equal, all right? So where I welded these two guys together, no worries. This end of the airflow meter to the pipe, so many problems. Like, look at it. Looks gross as. That's because the cast aluminium has a lot of contaminants, and it's just like welding bloody fireworks. It's just flying out everywhere. Besides that, there's a little thing you can do to fix this problem. It's called spray paint. So this is going to be painted black. Anyway, these ones not too bad. These ones gross. But as you can see, it's not like a big size difference. It sort of just sits inside there. This one's similar. Anyway, should do the job. Thanks for watching this episode, guys. Before I sign off, I'm going to show you a little gift we got for the car. Got a prop shaft made. It's a 3.5-inch tube with Sonic's billet yoke, 1350 unis, all Dana stuff, and on the back it's just got just like a big flange that's custom drilled to suit the diff, because they don't make them in this size, I guess. So we've got the shaft just a little bit over 1 meter. Getting the shaft made turned out to be quite an issue. A lot of places I called up were a bit lame, didn't know what they were talking about, which I found kind of weird. So I called this bloke named Bob, he sorted it out. You know, a couple of days later, showed up, put it in, it fits. Next episode we'll drive the car, because we've got the shaft now, and we can drive it. So thanks for watching this video, not watching one of those lame reaction videos like in the trending section. Stay cool.